y'all, welcome to ASL-II. I've just got a few things to cover. I figured it would be easier than me having to type all this out and then you all pretend like you're reading it. I feel like you'll listen better with a video. And I hope, too, that the more we get comfortable with technology in this course, the more comfortable you'll be with video making. I've worked with Dr. Treadway a lot towards the end of the semester in kind of figuring some of the things out on how to make this more accessible for you all. And so I hope that you can appreciate that we at least put in a lot of work trying to get this just a little bit better and just a little bit more fine-tuned. I know that last semester there was a lot of things out of our control as well. Our class was not the only one to have those issues, so I'm hoping that from the start of this semester everything will be good to go. All right, so hey, if you are watching this, you're probably going to know who I am because you should be ASL-II. If you are taking ASL-II and you were not in my class before, please send me an email and let me know. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I would also hope that, the people that the class that I've been working with up until now is people we know before because I didn't change. Surprise, surprise. So a few things I want to talk about this semester as a whole. As many of you, I've said this often, that this is the fun semester, and it's the fun semester because of a few things. Number one, you already have enough vocabulary. Like if you learned all the vocabulary from last semester, you have enough to say on your resume that you are conversational ASL. That means that you can carry a conversation. And you can. You know the basics. You know that it's time, object, or subject, and then your verbs. Your adjectives fit somewhere in that little Mod Podge. And you know enough to get to know someone. So this semester is about having a conversation with someone. And that's going to... the way that we get there is... There are a few more vocabulary sections that are in this lesson or in this entire semester, but each lesson we have different components, and I kind of prepped you and primed you for that last semester. If you remember when we started adding grammar each week, that idea is going to continue, but it's now in classifiers. And we only do classifiers for about half of the semester, and then we're going to pivot to something even more fun. And I know that we're not going into an in-depth lesson in classifiers, but I need you to know how to use them. And I want you to think about the final, and think about the Wally videos that you made, and then that was, again, on the final. That is how, when we're talking about verbs, or how does something move, or what space it's on, classifiers can cover nouns and objects. They also can certainly cover verbs, but they're just a different way that's a lot easier to tell a story. Because ASL is not designed for you to learn a whole bunch of vocabulary and then, parrot it off. That is not how you speak ASL at all. It's not how you speak any language, realistically. So, you remember when I said, and I said this a lot, I have to teach you the rules to then teach you the exception to the rules? Well, we started learning the exception to the rules at the end of last semester, and that starts with classifiers. Each week there'll be just a one day, it's always on Monday, a start to your classifiers. There's also something that is a bit more new that I think you all are going to really appreciate. Each week, not every week, but most weeks have a main assignment. You will know what that is on Monday. That main assignment is, think of it as kind of projects, but not working with other people, God forbid. And and it's going to be it is the thing that ties every other lesson that we learn in the week together. Okay? When you go and I want you all to, you have this entire week, you're going to look around and get familiar with everything, because everything will be open for you to kind of see the layout, but it won't be open until the week of on that Monday. So you'll have your main assignment, and each unit is broken down with a summary. You're going to have an introduction of everything. It's going to let you know what assignments are due, when they are due, how many points they're worth, and kind of like a summary of what we're covering that week. Underneath that is your vocab. It's going to take me a minute to upgrade or update the video bank and the word bank. It's just because there are literally thousands of signs that have to go in there between this semester and last semester. So be patient with me. Give me a couple of weeks. It's not the end of the world. But the vocab is where, and you are going to be familiar with this, it's the textual definition, what I call the ASL definition, or the text definition on how to sign it. That is not a way to learn, but it's a way for you to memorize it better. Underneath that, main assignment. Then you'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There are weeks where you don't have class a certain day, or there are weeks where, honestly, it's content heavy. So I try to, if it's a week where we're covering a lot of vocab or a lot of, topics, I don't want you to have an assignment every single day. There may be a week where it's just 2 for that week. There may be a week that it's every day. But that correlates to, and here's how I try to break them down. How long is it going to take you to do it? I want you to be able to do this in an hour, okay? But that's on you. And I say this because we're going to try something. And I want you to know that at any given time, if it is not working, I will let you know it's not working. I will email you all personally and say, this is not working. But something I want to try doing is, I'm going to open up the entire module on Monday morning. So that means that everything that you will be doing for that week is open to you, because a little over half of you get it done early. You just blow through it, you get it, and you're good to go. Some of you wait till the very last minute, and your grade reflects that. As a matter of fact, I actually pulled this information because I'm able to correlate exactly the ones who waited till the last minute and the ones who were really, really good about getting it done quick. And the grades are literally tiered that way. Life happens, and I understand that. And we have an understanding that if you let me know ahead of time that something is up and something's going on, I'll work with you. But hopefully, and some of you had to learn this the hard way, if 3 weeks go by and you say, okay, I'm ready to do this now, I'm going to look at you. Actually, I'm not going to look at you. I'm going to send you an email, and it's going to say, thank you so much for your interest in raising your grade. I'm sorry it's too late, because one thing we are going to abide by is the school schedule. Now, it's one of the things that's on the syllabus. It is mentioned. You will see it at least 3 times in the week course summary that you're going to do this week. And there's a sliding scale. Every day that you're late, points come off, and then it groups together week by week. But, if if you are a want to say 3 weeks late. Oh no, there's no way I can let you make it up anymore. And it also tabulates towards your truancy. One thing they are doing, I can tell you at the TVA this year, is they are watching attendance because there were a couple of students who had things happening in their life, and that's okay. Like, I get that because you communicated with me ahead of time. There are some who went on vacation for about a month, and then here it is, like it's the end of the semester, and I'm not going to let you make any of that up. And the truancy board gets called because if you look at the student handbook, the way we tabulate attendance is, did you log in that day? Did you do work that day? And there's a little equation. If you do 3 assignments, that counts towards 3 days of attending. So missing assignments equates to your attendance, and they will be looking at that. And again, if you have something come up, and I know ahead of time, I'm able to work with you on that. But if it's something like, this was a very common thing, oh my gosh, I had all this happen and I totally forgot, I can't do anything because it logs it in the computer. And I can't go to Dr. Treadway ahead of time and say, hey, they have some things coming up and I just want to, Next thing. Like I said, everything opens on a Monday. It's due on a Sunday. I know that before. I had it cut in the middle with Wednesdays. And the reason why is because kind of what we're talking about now. If you wait until the last minute to do all of your homework, you're not learning it. You're not, because you're not engaging with it enough. Languages can't be crammed for. They are a consistent repetition over time. That's why in some of your interviews at the end, some of you blanked because you didn't know it. And that's also why a few of you tried to cheat because you didn't know it. We're in a new semester. It's a fresh start. Start on the right foot. You have until Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. to have everything in. However, if the trend is that more than 50% of you are turning it in on Sunday night at 11 p.m., on a Sunday, if you are turning everything in at once on one day, and this is over a couple of weeks, oh yeah, no, we'll go back to exactly how it was. But I understand that some of you have a way that you like to work, and you like to get it done early. You have your study block early in the morning, or you have it in the afternoon, and you want to knock them out then. That's okay, because I know you engaged with it. And I don't want to penalize the majority for ways in which the minority act. So just be cautioned that you need to engage with it every day. The other thing is, you need to pay attention to when things are due. You are going to have the introduction of each module, which is going to tell you the due dates. You're also going to have a weekly schedule that you can click on, and it will take you directly to what you need to do for that week, and it's going to tell you when it's due. It's going to tell you how many points it's worth. I say this because there are some things that I have to have happen at a certain time. Quizzes or projects, the big projects, right? And so that's why you can't just rely on assumption to get by. Okay, projects. Projects this semester are actually the reason why the class is more fun. It's because we're actually doing really fun things. And the more that we continue in this semester and we kind of get away from being reliant on like vocabulary and get into conversation, it's kind of how we get to do some cool stuff. Um, what I did do is if we have a group project, uh, there's not going to be, so some people are already, you will be grouped with the people that you were grouped with before. Okay, if we've already had that discussion. Um, what the goal is for you, and this is you, to solve your scheduling issues. Because you are 1 year away from college, and once you get to college, your teachers are not like I am. I promise you. You want to know why? I'm friends with a lot of professors. You do not get the same grace in scheduling and everything else. So you don't get it here to learn it for there. I would be doing you a disservice sending you off to college with a, wrong mindset of how college works. That being said, I did put consideration in the projects in which I built for this class to always have a fully online option, which means you can utilize, you can always utilize the partner portal still whenever. But that is not a schedulable room. So if you want to schedule a time where it will just be you and your 1 to 2 partners, the groups are not going to be larger than 3, you will do that through the vibe check. And you get your own room for that amount of time, whatever time you need. First come, first serve. You've got that space. And you can record there. If you need... sorry, I have an awful sinus infection today. If you need lessons on how to record, you need any type of resources or tools, reach out to me. I got you. Okay? Let's see what else I got. You all really did great on your last projects. And I hope that that mindset is what you continue with, because what we're moving into now is non-isolated ASL. Normally, say like in a Spanish course, this is the time where you talk to one another in Espanol. We're virtual, so we're going to make that happen. I do have some assignments that will require you to use the partner portal in your partner sheets, but it works a little different than before. We did some changes on how that's laid out, so. Okay. Your main assignments. Why did I say you'll like this? Because your main assignments are due on that Sunday, and they are... If you're doing the other work, you'll be fine with the... So, a good thing is, I hope you like the new layout. I went back to, because that was like the number one thing on the feedback list, and so it's good. I heard you. If you have thoughts, comments, or concerns, you are more than welcome to send me an email about them, and I will hear you out on it. I had Dr. Treadway look at this and vet it, and he's like, this is how we do it. This week, there's 7 or 8 modules. It is literally stuff that you already know. It is like a rehashing of the syllabus. It is it's a where is everything. There's an orientation for Canvas, which if you have been unless this is your first or second semester in with the TVA, you know this stuff because I know other classes have had you do it. There's a section that's in specific with the syllabus, so pay attention to that. And there's a quiz at the end. It's 15 questions, and you know what's on it? Only those things about Canvas. This is one that I'll understand if you all are home on a certain day, if you just knock it out, because the quiz isn't difficult, and the content is something you should know anyways. Last thing I want to talk about, and this is just advice overall, especially if you have other TVA courses or if you're in dual credit, there will be no chat GPT. And you'll notice that in the syllabus. You'll notice the accentuations that I pulled directly from the handbook. If it is your, and it's just a zero tolerance policy. Like, okay, you phone it in. You use ChatGPT for a homework assignment. Cool. That is an email to your parents and with you and a conference with Dr. Treadway or your school counselor, whichever one wants to pick it up. That's your first time. Your second time, you're not in my class anymore. You'll be grounded. It's up to Dr. English on what happens from there, but it's just like any other course. And I want to explain something. It's a little different from semester 1 to semester 2 because semester 1 was very vocabulary heavy. Semester 2 is conversation, which means that the usage of you scripting something, you have to back away from it, and it's not something you're going to easily do. Okay, it's genuinely intimidating to come up with your signs in the moment, but that's the muscle we're building now. You're not in ASL-I anymore. Pay a close attention to what is considered AI, what is considered AI for this course, and what the consequences are. Because some of you found on the last exam that you hit your wall. You didn't know what you didn't know. Some of you even chose, and I don't understand why, to cheat and copy one another with the exact same words. I promise you, I've had conversations with administration, Dr. Treadway, of course, and it's a zero tolerance policy, not just for my class. If you're taking other classes online, be ready. Your exams will be proctored by Dr. Treadway and by me. If you click off your screen, I know, and with the new stuff that we're introducing, when you click off screen, it turns your camera on so I can see what's on your screen. So whenever you try to go into Google and then just copy and paste into there, oh no, like you failed. If you are taking the exam and you pull out your cell phone, it sends a little red flag. You know what the red flag does? Turns your camera on, and you won't have enough time to hide it. I will see you cheating with your phone. And it's as simple as me going click, click, and then goes directly to Dr. English, and you should look in the handbook at what the consequences for that are, because there are consequences. One last thing. You cannot use your own personal computer to take an exam at the TVA. Dr. Treadway will not allow it. So the idea of bringing in your laptop with Windows already opened, thinking that you can just quickly exit out of them, you're not going to waste our time that way. Because you'll do it once. Okay, you'll do it once. Get caught, and those are consequences. And there are consequences with TVA, and cheating and plagiarism are actually pretty cut and dry. Don't be that person. Alright, I've scolded you enough, and you all know that I don't like being that person. Um, the last thing I'm going to say is I'm super happy to have you all back. Um, it is one of my favorite things, actually, teaching this class. And there are some of you that amaze me with how quick you are with ASL, with how, like, you're able to already construct things that we haven't covered. How some of you just love it. And I want you to know that that makes teaching this course everything. I'm always available for anything that you need. You just have to send me an email ahead of time, or in the moment, or whatever. But as long as you communicate with me, you'll be completely fine this semester. The way it was last semester, where the first quarter was really easy and the second became difficult, it's swamped. Because we have to finish out a few things to get to the really cool stuff. But if you make it to the end of the course, and you make it to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you, some of the projects are like a week of Star Wars related stuff, and holiday stuff, and, you know, stuff that it's just kind of fun to do. Things that you can take on and become a content creator on social media if that's your interest. Things you can take on and use within your community to talk to your friends, not talk at them. That means that you have to know what they're signing to you to respond. And it's a gift that I cannot tell you the amount of doors it will open for you in the future. So keep going. You're almost there. Put in the work, and then your grade will show. I'm very proud of you all. If you're watching this video, I'm very proud of you. You're doing great. Alright. Let's have a good semester. What we end it with? See ya later, tater. Bye.